Prison break. Insane inmate escapes. With jailhouses being some of the most heavily guarded places, it's difficult to fathom just how some inmates manage to break out of prison. It takes luck, skill, imagination, and sometimes simple brute strength, but there have been several times in history when convicts have triumphantly managed to break out of some of the most heavily guarded and secure prisons on Earth. Click through this video for a look at some of the craftiest ways prisoners have escaped from jail. Taliban Tunnel. In 2011, prisoners escaped from Sarposa prison via a tunnel dug by the Taliban. More than 480 made their way to freedom, as reported by Time. Taliban Tunnel. The tunnel was 1,050 feet, 320 meters, long. As per Time, it was believed the escape may have been an inside job and that the fugitives had help from guards and other officials. Maze Prison. It was supposed to be escape-proof. But in 1983, this maximum security facility in Ireland fell vulnerable to an impressive 38 prisoners, who managed to break out using smuggled handguns and holding guards at gunpoint. T.J. Lane. 19-year-old T.J. Lane, who was in jail for murdering 3 of his classmates after a school shooting in 2012, broke out of a medium-security jail using a makeshift ladder. The teen was eventually recaptured. Escape from Alcatraz. These guys ingeniously escaped from a maximum security prison, only to never be seen again. They used soap wax to stuff their beds and make it seem like their bodies were there. They dug a tunnel, entered an unused service corridor, climbed a vent, before making it onto the roof, according to Business Insider. The Texas 7. These prisoners conspired together to overpower guards and maintenance workers and escape a maximum security prison in Kennedy, Texas. News of their breakout made its way onto the television show, America's Most Wanted, which eventually helped authorities locate the fugitives after an influx of tips and phone calls from viewers. George Rivas. The group was led by inmate George Rivas, who has since been executed. Frank Abagnale. Abagnale, who during his lifetime convincingly took on numerous identities, used his fantastic acting skills to escape from the federal detention center in Atlanta, Georgia. Catch Me If You Can. He fooled guards into thinking he was an undercover prison inspector. His antics inspired the 2002 biopic, Catch Me If You Can, starring Leonardo DiCaprio as Abagnale. Midnight Express. Another prison break that inspired a movie was Billy Hayes' escape from a Turkish prison. The American was being held after attempting to smuggle hash out of the country. In 1975, he escaped by rowboat swimmingly. El Chapo. The infamous Mexican drug lord escaped from prison not once but twice, in 2001 and more recently in 2015. Surveillance video failed to see him duck behind the shower. When guards went looking for him, they realized he'd escaped through a tunnel. He was eventually captured, but not before granting American actor Sean Penn a bizarre interview, subsequently published by Rolling Stone. David Sweat and Richard Matt. These 2 convicted murderers broke out of New York's largest state prison in 2015. They cut through a steel wall and escaped via tunnel. David Sweat and Richard Matt. After being on the lam for 3 weeks, the pair were eventually found by the authorities. Both were shot by the cops, with only Sweat, Wright, surviving. Pascal Payette. This extremely bold French inmate used a helicopter not once, not twice, but 3 times during 3 separate escapes. He holds the record for the most number of escape plans using a chopper. French Bonnie and Clyde. Similarly, Nadine Vaujour also used a chopper as a getaway vehicle when she broke her husband, Michel Vaujour, out of jail in 1986. Alfred George Hines. Another criminal who managed to escape numerous times was escape artist Alfred George Hines. While in prison, he was able to escape from high-security facilities on 3 different occasions. He became famous for his shenanigans and wild escapes. Choi Gap Bok. Perhaps the most creative escape goes to this clever inmate, who managed his escape via a tiny food slot. Gap Bok lubed himself up to help him glide through the small 18-inch, 45 centimeters, by 6-inch, 15 centimeters, opening. Unfortunately, his freedom was short-lived as he was captured a mere 6 days later. Alfred Wetzler. Alfred Wetzler was a Jewish man who managed to escape from the horrendous Auschwitz concentration camp during the Holocaust. In April of 1944, he escaped by hiding in a pile of cut wood. After a 3-day search by guards, he emerged and made his way to Slovakia and freedom. Escape from death row. In 1984, 6 convicts awaiting the electric chair broke out of the Mecklenburg Correctional Center, a medium-security facility. Together, they overpowered guards to make their daring escape. Eventually, each man was recaptured and executed. Great escape. During World War II, Western Allied Air Force personnel were held captive in Stalag Luft III prison camp. More than 600 prisoners worked on 3 tunnels nicknamed Tom, Dick, and Harry. Eventually, 76 men were able to escape. 73 were recaptured with only 3 successfully escaping. John Gerard. After enduring much torture, Jesuit priest John Gerard broke out of the Tower of London. He escaped using a rope and fled on a boat. John Dillinger. This criminal used a fake gun in his ingenious escape. He carved the false weapon out of wood and covered it in black shoe polish to make it look like the real deal. Libby Prison. In Richmond, Virginia, a supply store was converted into a jail to hold Union soldier prisoners during the American Civil War. After gaining access to an abandoned kitchen in the basement, more than 100 officers managed to successfully break out using a tunnel. Thanks for watching. Please do not forget to like, share, comment and subscribe.